Introducing Power BI by Microsoft. Power BI is a cloud-based business analytics service, enabling anyone to visualize and analyze data with greater speed, efficiency, and understanding. Power BI. Experience your data. Any data, any way, anywhere. Sign up for Power BI today.